Grand Rising, kings and queens. It's Thursday, November 6th, and we're throwing it all the way back to today's theme, which is built different, growing up. Growing up on grits, grit, and greatness. We're celebrating the lessons we learned on porches, from elders, and in living rooms filled with plastic covered couches and soul music. We were raised on grits, cornflakes with sugar, and don't touch that thermostat. Today is for you. We were taught to hustle, hold our heads up high, and stay prayed up. That foundation made us resilient, resourceful, and unstoppable. Let's honor our roots while stepping boldly in our purpose. Today, our affirmation of the day is I am the result of generations of strength. I carry wisdom in my walk and power in my name. Our word of the day is gumption. It means spirited initiative and resourcefulness, courage to take bold action. For example, Big Mama had the gumption to run her whole household on nothing but faith, food stamps, and fried chicken. Our slang word of the day is facts, meaning to speak truth, especially in a bold or real way. All right, on to our headline news. In New York, Congress reaches a last-minute deal to avoid default, but major spending cuts still loom. Los Angeles, California legislature passes sweeping digital privacy law, setting new national standard. Chicago, major rail strike averted after union and rail companies agreed to arbitration to prevent disruption. Atlanta, massive donation from tech mogul announced to build minority-owned startup hub in the city. Houston, oil companies announced a joint initiative to capture methane emissions in the Permian Basin. Washington, D.C., Supreme Court takes up landmark case on voting rights ahead of midterms. Miami, local government pledges $50 million to rebuild after last year's hurricanes. Resilience efforts ramp up. Tampa, Florida, Tampa Port Authority signs deal with major global shipping firm, boosting Florida's trade profile. Good morning, Tarpon Springs. Sponge diving heritage site receives federal heritage designation, driving tourism hopes. Milwaukee, city launches pilot universal basic income program for low-income residents, first of its kind in the Midwest. Jackson, Mississippi State Legislature, got that wrong word this morning. Mississippi State Legislature approves funding for broadband infrastructure in underserved regions. Vancouver, British Columbia announces new carbon tax rebate for households, aiming at climate equality. Toronto, Canadian tech giant opens AI research campus in downtown Toronto, promising 2,000 jobs. Jamaica, good morning, Jamaica. Jamaican government and private sector sign pact to expand fintech sector island-wide. Montego Bay, resort district unravels and unveils heavy investment to boost cruise ship infrastructure and sustainable tourism. Ocho Rios, local community leads restoration effort for hurricane damage, aligned with UN climate targets. The Grill, Jamaican Ministry of Tourism launches ecotourism campaign targeting young travelers, surf, and culture. Cayman Islands, Cayman financial regulator proposes sandbox for crypto firms, betting on 15th growth. Nassau, Bahamas announced new offshore renewable energy project targeting 50% clean power by 2030. Nigeria, Nigerian central bank lifts restrictions on fintech lending platforms, aiming to boost digital economy. And Ghana launches National Youth Tech Training Initiative in collaboration with global NGO to reduce unemployment. On to our weather. New York, you will have mostly cloudy and breezy and cool today with a high of 53 and a low of 40. Los Angeles will be sunny and calm with a high of 72 and a low of 54. Chicago will be partly cloudy with light winds, high of 54 and a low of 38. Atlanta will be sunny and mild with a high of 70 and a low of 48. Houston will be warm and dry, high of 76 with a low of 58. Washington, D.C. be sunny with low humidity, high of 58, low of 54. Miami will be mostly sunny with a heat advisory in effect with a high of 84 and a low of 72. Tampa will be partly sunny with light breeze with a high of 82 and a low of 68. Tarpon Springs will be mostly sunny with a coastal breeze with a high of 81 and a low of 67. Milwaukee will be cloudy with evening drizzle with a high of 50 and a low of 36. Jackson, Mississippi will be sunny with a fog advisory until 9 a.m. with a high of 78 and a low of 51. Vancouver will have light rain will be likely, cloudy throughout the day with a high of 52 and a low of 43. Toronto will be partly cloudy, with evening chill with a high of 48 and a low of 37. Kingston will have light rain showers, humid and breezy with a high of 88 and a low of 77. Montego Bay will be partly sunny with 20% chance of rain, high of 87, low of 76. Ocho Rios will be mostly sunny, slight evening drizzle with a high of 86 and a low of 76. And Negril will be sunny with light coastal winds with a high of 87 and a low of 76. The Cayman Islands will be mostly sunny with 10% chance of rain today, high of 86 and low of 77. The Bahamas will be partly sunny with a 4% chance of rain, with a high of 81 and a low of 76. Nigeria will have light rain showers, a 71% chance of rain, with a high of 88 and a low of 77. And Ghana will have light rain showers, 71% chance of rain, high of 88 and a low of 77. Okay, on to our sports recap from yesterday. In the NBA, scores are as follows. Philadelphia over Cleveland, 112-104. Detroit over Utah, 98 and 91. Indiana over Brooklyn, 120-89. Boston over Washington, 117-102. New York over Minnesota, 108-106. Houston over Memphis, 113-110. Dallas over New Orleans, 101-94. Denver over Miami, 115-109. LA over San Antonio, 122-118. OKC, 119 over Portland, 112. And Golden State over Sacramento, 124-120. The only NBA game today is going to be the Clippers versus the Suns, and they'll be on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on NBA TV. And tonight in the NFL, we have the Raiders versus the Broncos. That game will be held at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Prime Video. Also, we have college football games today. We're going to have North State at Delaware State at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPNU. Also, Tulane at UTSA at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. And Marshall is at Coastal Carolina at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN2. All right, on to our daily segment, which is Throwback Thursday. And our theme, like I said before, is Built Different, growing up on grits, and greatness. Throwback Thursday hits different when you're raised on stories that came from with seasoning, not just salt, but soul. Today we honor the old school wisdom, the kind that didn't come from a degree, but from decades of doing the same damn thing. You remember these lessons? Don't go outside with your hair looking like that. Or go ask your cousins if they want something before you touch that plate. If you can't use your words, you're going to feel this switch. I remember going to pick up them switches. You can't pick up no thing when you better bring back one back that was a little wide and a little heavy. Or you was going to have to go get another one. So we were raised on cast iron skillets seasoned with more than grease. They held generations of love. Plastic covered couches that stuck to your thighs but held the whole family's memories. And mornings filled with gospel, afternoon with blues, and nights with quiet prayers whispered before we went to sleep. That upcoming built us different. It gave us the backbone to navigate a world that doesn't always honor our roots. It gave us the audacity to dream and the humility to remember where we came from. Today, we shout out the grandmothers with the garden-grown remedies, the uncles with the car knowledge but had no license, and the cousins that taught us to fight and forgive in the same day. Because we didn't grow up, we evolved from grits to greatness, from front porches to boardrooms, and we still rise. All right, on to our book club segment where we're still reading the 48 Laws of Power. Today we're on Law 33, which is discover each man's thumbscrew. This law reminds us that everyone has a weakness, something they fear, desire, or obsess over. The trick to power is not in brute force, but in understanding and strategically leveraging those hidden motives. So how to find someone's thumbscrew? Look at their behavior under stress. What triggered them? Pay attention to their pride. What do they consistently mention or protect? Observe their emotional attachments. What or who do they defend fiercely? And identify what they avoid. Silence often reveals fear. In business, relationships, or leadership, this law teaches emotional intelligence with an edge. It is not manipulation, it's about strategy. Because power isn't about loud moves, it's about precision. All right, on to our cause of the day. Our cause of the day today is Movember, which is Men's Health Awareness Month. November is officially Movember, the month dedicated to raising awareness about men's health, including prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and suicide prevention. So let's break it down. Prostate cancer, what is it? A slow-growing cancer in the prostate gland, often with no early symptoms. Who it affects? Mostly men over 50, but Black men and those with family history are at higher risk. Symptoms: difficulty urinating, blood in the semen, and pelvic discomfort. Prevention: regular PSA screenings at age 40 to 50, depending on risk level. Testicular cancer. What is cancer that occurs in the testicles, usually affecting younger men 15 to 35? Symptoms: lump in the testicle, heaviness in the scrotum, or pain. Prevention tip: monthly self-exams to detect changes early. It's highly treatable when caught early. Just like women have to do a monthly breast exam, men, you need to do a monthly testicle exam as well. All right, men's health and suicide prevention. The reality: men are 3.9 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Barriers: social stigma, emotional suppression, and a lack of safe spaces to open up. Solutions: normalize therapy and emotional vulnerability. Build community support and encourage men to talk, not just about what's going on right, but what lays heavy in their hearts. So important resources for men to use and women, wives, mothers, aunts and uncles. Movember Foundation. It can be reached at www.movember.com. Mental Health America is www.mhanational.org. And then there's always the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, whereas you just dial 988 24/7 for free support. There's the Black Men Heal at www.blackmenheal.org. All right, today in history, November 6th, Barack Obama re-elected as president in 2012. On November 6, 2012, Barack Obama made history once again by being re-elected as the 44th president of the United States, defeating Mitt Romney. This win wasn't just political, it was spiritual. After 4 years of navigating recession recovery, global diplomacy, and healthcare reform, the American people said, run that back again. So Obama became the first Black president to serve 2 full terms, and youth, Black, and Latino vote played a massive role in the outcome. His second term focused on criminal justice reform, climate change, and expanding access to education. Also, we have the Aztec Revolt of 1729. November 6, 1729, the Aztec people, a Native American tribe in Mississippi, launched a coordinated uprising against French colonists who had tried to seize their ancestral land. Over 200 French settlers were killed in the revolt, shocking the colonial system and sparking a retaliation. Though brutally suppressed, the Natchez Revolt remains one of the largest indigenous rebellions against European colonization in the American South. It's a reminder that indigenous resistance was real, fierce, and strategic, not passive. Thurgood Marshall appointed to the U.S. Court of Appeals in 1961. Before he became the first Black Supreme Court justice, Thurgood Marshall was appointed to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals by President John F. Kennedy on this date in 1961. This move wasn't just historic, it was fabulous. Marshall used his position to issue over 100 rulings, most of which were never overturned. His work laid the legal groundwork for civil rights movement and reshaped federal judicial thinking on race and justice. From Brown versus Board to the highest court in the land, Marshall was the blueprint for legal Black elegance. All right, on to African American history today. The 1619 Project, Reframing U.S. History. Does anybody remember seeing this 1619 in that movie that Obama made on that ship? Well, this is kind of like what it meant. The 1619 Project, Reframing U.S. History, launched by journalist Nicole Hannah-Jones, this groundbreaking initiative by the New York Times recenters American history around the arrival of the first enslaved Africans in 1619. It challenges traditional narratives and highlights how Black contributions shaped every major American institution, from democracy to capitalism. It sparked national curriculum changes and controversy, but also revolutionized how we teach our truth. Shirley Chisholm, unbought and unbossed. In 1968, Chisholm became the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress, and in 1972, the first Black candidate to seek a major party's presidential nomination. She ran on bold politics, universal child care, income equality, and ending the Vietnam War. Her campaign slogan, unbought and unbossed, period. Her legacy paved the way for every Black woman running today. Also, we have the Tulsa Race Massacre, Black Wall Street's tragedy. In 1921, The prosperous Black neighborhood of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as Black Wall Street, was burned to the ground by white mobs, leaving over 300 dead and thousands homeless. It was one of the worst acts of racial violence in U.S. history and was buried from textbooks for decades. Now it's being reclaimed in documentaries, reparation conversations, and public memory. Our excellence will never be erased, only reconstructed. All right, our African American inventors. First, we have Garrett Morgan, who invented the gas mask and the traffic light. In 1914, Garrett Morgan created the first modern gas mask, saving lives during World War I and later in tunnel explosions. He also patented the three light signal light. You know that yellow light in the middle, the one we never pay attention to? That's Morgan. His inventions was sold to General Electric for $40,000 in the 1920s, a massive sum back then. But he often had to hide his identity as a Black inventor just to get work taken seriously. We also have Sarah Boone, the ironing board innovator. Tired of trying to iron dresses on uneven surfaces, Sarah Boone patented the improved ironing board in 1892, a narrow curved design ideal for sleeves and fitted garments. Her invention modernized garment care for tailors and households alike. So don't sleep on Black women. Even in the 1800s, they were out here innovating domestic life with elegance. And we also have Lonnie Johnson, the super soaker genius. An aerospace engineer for NASA and the U.S. Air Force, Lonnie Johnson accidentally invented the super soaker in 1989 while working on a refrigeration system. The iconic water gun became one of the best-selling toys of all time, racking up over 1 billion in sales. But don't call him just a toy maker. He also holds over 120 patents in energy, tech, and military-grade devices. Okay, on to our Back to Roots segment, where our Orisha of the day is Ogun. Ogun is the Orisha of iron, water, labor, and innovation. He represents strength, endurance, and the ability to overcome obstacles with grit and determination. The Yoruba cosmetology, in Yoruba cosmetology, Ogun forced paths through the wilderness so that humanity could thrive. Symbols, iron tools, machetes, chains, red and black colors. Offerings, rum, grilled meat, and cigars. Personality, he's a fierce protector, loyal but vengeful when crossed. So the spiritual insight, calling on Ogun is calling on strength to clear the way. Whether you're building something, fighting for difficulty, or trying to make a way out of no way, Ogun's energy says, keep going, slice through the noise. So the affirmation for Ogun is, I call upon the spirit of Ogun to cut through confusion, fear, and delay. I move with strength, purpose, and the ancestors are behind me. All right, our fun fact of the day is hip hop is officially the most consumed music genre in the world. According to global music reports by the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, or IFPI, hip hop surpassed pop and rock as the most streamed genre globally. From its 1973 roots at a Bronx block party to dominating TikTok, Super Bowl halftime shows, and presidential playlists, hip hop became the voice of the culture, the streets, and the struggle. All right, and our fun holiday of the day is it's National Nachos Day. Celebrated every year on November 6th, National Nachos Day honors the cheesy, crunchy, crowd favorite snack that was accidentally invented in 1943 by Inako Nacho Anaya in Mexico. All right, our quote of the day is by Confucius. Quote, "The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home," end quote. In other words, it ain't the suits in DC or the skyscrapers downtown. It's what happens around the kitchen table, the porch, and the family room. If we want better leaders, stronger communities, and a future we can be proud of, we got to start where it matters most, at home. So teach the babies, protect the elders, and love out loud. That's legacy. Our song of the day is Optimistic by the Sounds of Blackness. I don't know if how many of you remember this, but it became a soundtrack for every Black mama trying to hold it together, every college grad who beat the odds, and every dreamer still grinding. Produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, this Grammy-winning track fused gospel, soul, and R&B into pure empowerment. All right, on to our music and entertainment news. Jeezy sets Guinness World Record. Atlanta legend Jeezy broke records with the largest orchestra ever at a hip-hop concert during his TM 101 live residency. The performance honored his debut album and redefined what's possible in hip-hop stagecraft. Also, Angela Bassett is returning to American Horror Story. The Queen of Intensity is back. Angela Bassett joins the new seasonal outline with Ariana Grande, teasing mysterious roles and fresh twists on the cult series. And Brandy and Ray J reunite on stage. After years of tension, the sibling duo shared a heartfelt moment during the Boy Is Mine tour stop in Atlanta, embracing in front of fans and silencing rumors of family drama. All right, celebrity gossip for today. Nicki Minaj's Magna Barbie backlash. Fans are divided after Nicki Minaj tweeted pro-Trump sentiments about Nigeria, sparking heated debates and memes labeling her Magna Barbie. Uh-oh. Lotto pregnancy rumors swirl. Fans speculate Lotto may be expecting her first child with 21 Savage after recent photos show her cradling her stomach at a Clayco event. And Keke Palmer's HBCU show sparks debate. Her new series, Southern Fried Rice, centered on HBCU life, faces backlash over cultural representation. Nakia Stevens and Keke responded with statements defending the show's intent. All right, our celebrity birthdays for today. We have Fandy Newton is 53. She's an Emmy awarding actress known for Westworld and Crash. We also have Lamar Odom turning 46. He's a former NBA star and reality TV personality. And we have Patina Miller is 41, a Tony-winning actress and star of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. All right, our tech tip of the day is, what is cloud storage? Cloud storage means your files live on remote servers, aka the cloud, instead of your physical device. And you can access them from anywhere with the internet. So think Google Drive, iCloud, and Dropbox. So why does this matter? Keeps your files safe if your phone or laptop crashes. Makes collaboration super easy, real-time editing and sharing folders. And it scales with your needs. No more storage full pop-ups. But watch out for free plans that are limited. Always turn on your two-factor authentication, your 2FA for security, and don't store sensitive legal medical info on free platforms without any encryption. So overall, back it up. If your data isn't in at least two places, it's basically already gone. So you need a backup. All right, our finance tip of the day is, what is compound interest, or AKA money making money? Compound interest is when you earn interest not just on the money you save or invest, but also on the interest you've already earned. That's right. If your money's having babies and those babies having You have babies are having grandbabies. So it's consistent. For example, if you invest $1,000 at 5% annual interest, for the first year you'll earn $50, which is 5% of 1,000. Year two, you'll earn $52.50, which is 5% of $1,050, not just $50. So over 10 years, that small 1,000 becomes over $1,068 without even adding a dime to it. So why does it matter? The earlier you start saving, even small amounts, the more your money grows over time. This is the secret sauce behind generational wealth. So start small, but stay consistent. Time and patience equals financial freedom. All right, in our lifestyle segment today, our soul food recipe of the day will be smothered chicken with onion gravy. Our beverage selection is a sweet tea Arnold Palmer. And our men's health tip for today is don't ignore the snore. Snoring can be a sign of sleep apnea, which raises your risk for heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. If you're always tired, moody, or waking up gasping, schedule a sleep study. Your heart will thank you. Women's health tip, track your cycle, boost your power. Apps like Flow or Clue help you understand your hormonal rhythm so you can plan workouts, self-care, and even productivity around your body's natural energy shifts. All right, relationship advice today. Topic is healing in real time, loving without losing yourself. So whether it's babe, bestie, or blood relative, relationships thrive when self-awareness is in the mix. So let's break that down. For couples, speak your needs before the meltdown. Don't assume your partner is a mind reader. If you need rest, support, or space, say so calmly and clearly. For friendships, let go with grace. If someone repeatedly disrespects your peace, it's okay to love them from a distance. That also goes for family, I think. And for family, generational trauma needs boundaries, not silence. Just because it's how it is always been doesn't mean that's healthy. All right, so on to our fact or fiction segment. Today is going to be MK Ultra, the CIA's mind control program. So, what if your government secretly drugged you to see if they could erase your mind? In the 1950s through the 1970s, the CIA launched Project MK Ultra, a covert operation to explore mind control, brainwashing, and psychological manipulation. The Cold War has sparked fears that enemies like the Soviets or the Chinese had developed brainwashing techniques, and the U.S. wanted in. The CIA dosed unwitting and unwilling civilians, prisoners, and even military personnel with LSD and other hallucinogens. Some were kept in isolation for weeks. Others were subjected to hypnosis, electric shock, and sensory deprivation without consent. Receipts, declassified CIA documents confirmed the program's existence. Senate hearings in 1977 exposed the scale of the abuse, and one subject, Frank Olson, died under suspicious circumstances after being dosed. His family later received a settlement. So the fallout, MK Ultra was officially shut down in 1973, but many records were destroyed. The full extent of the damage remains unknown. So, fact or fiction? Did the CIA try to erase your mind with acid? You decide. Sounds credible to me with all those receipts. All right, on to our horoscopes. For our fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Aries, you're craving motion, but don't confuse movement with progress. Today is about targeted energy. Pick one thing and bulldoze it. Don't scatter your spark. Just focus with your flex. Leo, that roar is real, but don't let pride block your blessings. Humility will open a door today that ego would have missed. Pay attention to who's clapping quietly. They're your real tribe. Sagittarius, you're on the edge of something brilliant, but discipline is missing. Discipline is the missing key. Take one task you've been avoiding and knock it out early. Then celebrate like only a Sagittarius can, loud and unapologetic. Water signs, we have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer, you're the emotional glue in your circle, but don't forget to recharge. Today, protect your peace like it's sacred because it is. A quiet evening and your favorite meal, that's therapy. Scorpio, your intuition is screaming. Are you listening? Somebody near you is being fully real, and your gut knows it. Watch more, speak less, and let your patterns reveal the truth. Pisces, your dream world is on fire right now. Write it down, sketch it, sing it. Just don't ignore it. The divine is talking to you through inspiration. Don't miss the message. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, money moves are lining up, but only if you're ready to let go of old patterns. Stop hoarding with what no longer fits. Clear your space, clear your mindset, and that abundance will flow. Virgo, you've been doing the most for everyone else. So today, be your own priority. Say no without guilt. Rest with explanation. Refill your own glass before refilling others. And Capricorn, boss energy activated. Today's perfect for negotiations, scheduling, and big picture planning. But take 15 minutes to breathe. Success without self-care is just burnout with better branding. And our air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, you've been craving novelty. Lean into it. Try a new route, new food, new conversation. Change shakes the dust off your magic. Just don't ghost people who've been solid for you. Libra, balance is beautiful, but don't let indecision paralyze you. Make a call today, even if it's not perfect. Forward is better than stuck. Trust your inner scale. And Aquarius, you're ahead of the curve, and folks might not get that right. Get that right from you right now. That's cool. You're not meant to blend in. Your needs are your seeds. Your ideas are your seeds. Keep planting. The bloom will come. And just like that, beautiful people, you've been poured into your morning with purpose, power, and a splash of petty. Some from grits to greatness, gumption to greatness. We are living proof that legacy runs deeper than the struggle. So whatever today throws your way, you got this. You're built on prayer, passion, and perseverance. Handling your business, protect your peace, and don't forget to pass the blessings along. Your vibe is valid. Your dream is divine. Your story ain't over. And as always, thank you for riding with me. Your morning dose of sunshine, side eye, and soul for survival. This has been Mel B's Morning Kickstart, where we affirm, inform, and elevate. Enjoy your day. Many blessings. See you tomorrow. Peace.